over 80,000 today. It is a sellout. Angela Mellon's the third member of our broadcast team. She caught up with the star quarterback prior to today's game.
All right, Taj, you just touched Howard's Rock for the final time of your career. What have these last 5 years meant to you?
You know, it's been a pretty surreal experience for me. You know, coming from a kid who just worked so hard to get to a point where, you know, I got to school here and got the opportunity to do something special, man. It's just been a blessing for me to come to this university.
You're amongst 83,000 of your closest friends. What's your final message to the Tiger faithful?
We just want to go out and finish strong. We just want to be remembered as winners, and that's what we want to do these last couple of games. So, again, I mean, they appreciate me, I appreciate them, and it's just a mutual relationship here.
Thank you, Taj. And while it is Senior Day, it's also Military Appreciation Day. And Dabo Swinney has tasked his team not only with the win here today, but to get their Purple Heart veteran, Daniel Rodriguez, his very first touchdown of his career. Jim, we'll see if the Citadel versus Clemson, and if Clemson can get that done today.
Yes, Angela, we have a lot of drama and a lot of things to be determined today. Sixth year as Clemson head coach is Dabo Swinney with a record of 49-22. He can hit that magic 50 win mark with a victory today. And he's opposed on the opposite side by Kevin Higgins, the head coach of the Citadel. We spoke to him prior to the game, and he said, I just hope we can hang around with them. He knows how challenging this is, not only with the atmosphere, but also with the talent that Clemson possesses. Bulldogs will kick off. And they're going to keep it away from the deep guys. Fair catch called, and so Clemson will start just beyond its own 25-yard line. Number 10, Taj Boyd, who came along with a coach. And the development of both head coach and quarterback have had a lot to do with the great success Clemson has. He's from that 757 area code, Hampton, Virginia. Last week on a great Thursday night, 20 of 26, 340 yards and 4 scores. Empty backfield. Boyd on the first toss of the game. Watkins on the catch. Pick of a 7. Second and short. He is one of our impact players. I think if you had to rank, John, these guys in terms of speed, the numbers are right. Ryan is first. Watkins close second.
6'5", fast wide receiver.
They're going to shoot it down the field. They got a receiver. Dropped at the 15-yard line. Wow. Intended for Martavis Bryant.
He's running it down. He's got an eye on it. He gets it in his hands. He just can't finish the play. That's the ball that this quarterback, Taj Boyd, throws best, the deep ball. That's why so many NFL guys like him.
And you can take that shot. It's third and short. They'll go to the running game here to pick up the first down. And then some to the 38-yard line by Rod McDowell. Hot Rod. Roderick McDowell with the pickup. And McDowell playing in his final game as a Clemson Tire. Let's talk impact players. And for the Bulldogs, Derek Douglas, the fifth-year senior, is going to have to matter today for his team to have a chance. McDowell running right and brought down maybe behind the line of scrimmage.
And Derek Douglas, he's got 8.5 TFLs, tackles for losses, 4 sacks, 36 starts. He's married as a fifth-year senior, overcame an ACL. He's a 3-year captain of this football team.
That's number 91. Mitchell Jeter got the tackle, 62. So the Tigers, after their first down of the game, now set with a 3rd and long.
This is the down that the Citadel want to get Clemson in and then get off the field like so many teams.
Needs 7 yards to pick up the first down and lots of time to throw the ball. But goes to the underneath receiver, and a first down is not picked up, and that means on 4th down, Clemson likely to give up the football.
Good open field tackle. Keep the ball in front of you. This is what Kevin Higgins said. In order for us to win, we have to get in some good third down situations. Keep the ball in front of us. They're playing strict zone coverage. Keep the ball in front. Stay on your feet. Absolutely great tackle.
Walker Smith, who's the nickelback, came in with a tackle. Clemson giving the football away, and a fair catch called at the 15-yard line. So 2 minutes in, already victory to the Citadel that forces Clemson to punt the ball away. Ben Dupree, one of 16 seniors. Again, their season ends today. And for Dupree, along with his outstanding running back, Darian Robinson, well, the military's been special, and almost to a man when you hear from these guys in a lot of articles that have been designated toward their years with the Citadel. It's a rough go at the beginning, but they're better people for it.
Got to get through the freshman year, don't you?
Yep.
They're in a traditional I formation to start.
We saw by the numbers he had 3 touchdowns last week against VMI. Like to run a lot of dive plays, and of course the defending efforts last week at Clemson against Georgia Tech will make that tough.
Yeah, freshman Jordan, he's got great speed. Matt Thompson, he played a lot of football here for the Citadel. They've got to do a great job making a play or two downfield, but more importantly, they've got to block on the perimeter for the triple option.
If you remember, it was Georgia Tech's passing game that got the Tigers on the board, and often in the second half, despite a 55-31 loss. That a triple option team as well, and Dupree keeps on this play. Brings us to a 3rd and long, and let's talk impact players for the Clemson Tigers who have made this triple option difficult to run against. Vic Beasley's likely headed for the National Football League, and then there's Corey Crawford.
And the reason for the success last week against Georgia Tech, these two bookends on the outside stood up and played in great balance, great discipline, whether they were tackling the dive or they were taking the inside part of the quarterback away on the triple.
Citadel 40% on conversions on 3rd down. Clemson's 4th best in the country at stopping 3rd down plays. Here comes the option. Dupree looking to pitch. He's got to keep, and he is brought down for a loss. That's 42. Stephon Anthony with a tackle.
Look at all the purple shirts and helmets going out there to the perimeter. I mean, there's no place for the quarterback to pitch the ball and no place for him to run up inside. Great pursuit, great discipline by the Clemson defense.
Eric Goins, who averages 40.8 yards a punt, is back inside his own 5-yard line, and he will kick it away to Adam Humphries. Tigers set up for the return. Humphries will call for a fair catch, and they'll start their business inside the 40 after we go away. 4 minutes into the first half, Taj Boyd gets a second opportunity. The All-American back on the field. Angela Mallon, John Bunting, Jim Barber. Second at bat for the Clemson Tigers to start just shy of their own 40-yard line. Military Appreciation Day. It has been a pleasure to be part of this, John, and we have just begun. From the pistol formation to Watkins. And a toss good for 3, maybe 4 yards on 1st down. And they'll use a lot of times that screenplay, bubble screen in many instances to try to substitute at times for a lack of a running game, or as strong as it would like to be. And now a 1st down toss to Watkins. And the football is inside the Citadel 45.
Watch the release of that quarterback. That ball just smokes out of his hand.
Official mark at the 46-yard line. Same play again, and Watkins is loose. Gain of 16 yards down to the 30 of the Citadel. Well, if it works one time, why not come back a second?
It's the one thing that Kevin Higgins talked a lot about in our call to him this week is the quick screens. They got to get more people to the football.
Chad Morris is the offensive coordinator. He wants his team to go fast and not think. In fact, his goal is to try to have 100 rushing play or passing and rushing plays before a game is concluded.
I had not heard that ever said by a coach before. I don't want them to think.
2nd and 3, little hitch by the quarterback. Boyd's got him in. Touchdown. Stanton Seckinger.
You throw the quick screens out there over and over again, and then you run Adam Humphries on the wheel route behind the screen. I tell you what, that was set up perfectly by this offensive coordinator, Chad Morris, and the Clemson players. Great execution, but all set up by those quick hitch screens.
Chandler Catanzaro on for his 50th extra point of the year in 50 attempts. A 24-yard touchdown pass from quarterback to tight end, and for Seckinger, Stan Seckinger's 3rd touchdown reception, and Taj Boyd's 98th career touchdown pass. Quarterback Taj Boyd, a 5-play, 61-yard drive in electric-type fashion. Less than a minute, officially 56 seconds, and Boyd is already 6 for 7, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Vinnie Martin, check that. Vinnie Miller and Terrence Martin are deep. And this one sails deep into the end zone, and so football to the Citadel 25 to start this drive. And let's go back to Boyd's toss. The Seckinger just moments ago.
Playing fast, 3 screens, 1 run, and then fake the screen and throw to the wheel route to Seckinger. Watch the eyes of the quarterback. He pump fakes out to the screen look, but it's not there. It's Seckinger running the wheel down the sideline. Playing fast, not thinking. Chad Moore's philosophy. Offensive coordinator for Clemson.
81 caught a touchdown pass in the night that Danny Ford had his number retired, number 81, fittingly. Straight dive play to pick up a 3 on first down for the Citadel, which comes in rushing almost 280 yards per game. But that statistic might take a beating this afternoon.
This is the 3rd week for the Clemson defense preparing for this style of offense. Talking with Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, yesterday. He was very pleased with the way they played last week. He wants the same type of effort and mostly the type of discipline, the execution, the alignment, the assignment of what they've got to do to stop the triple.
Now it's like an I formation backfield. Dupree keeps, but can't break contain. Up to the 31, brings him a 3rd and 4. And to stay on schedule for the Citadel today, gains of 3-4 yards. Each carry would be important. This is also a team that can go for it on 4th down. So
you're going to have to defend all 4 downs, Jim. That's correct.
Don't be surprised if it doesn't come off the field if it's 4th and very short. From the 31-yard line, Dupree options. Robinson keeps trying to get past the sticks, and I think he did it. To the 36-yard line, should be good enough for a first down. And check that, Terrence Martin on the carry. Martin now 165 yards on the season, couple of touchdowns.
Ben Dupree has been running this thing for 4 years. He knows what to do. He reads color, and then he pitches off the end-man line of scrimmage.
Have to be pretty disciplined to play this type of option because it's all about execution. And in defending, you have to stay in your position. Dupree keeps the football straight ahead to the 40, and a good gain on first down of 4 yards.
This is a great surge by the Citadel offensive line. They fake to the B back up in here in the middle, and then he just follows the double team on the A-gap player or the defensive tackle right up there to make a sizable gain of 4 or 5 yards.
Dabo Swinney says when defending the option, you have to defeat the blocks, leverage the football outside, and stay on your feet.
A lot of cut blocking. You're going 100 miles an hour out there, and all of a sudden you can defend a cut block and then go make a tackle. That's tough sledding right there.
Yes, sir, you know all about that. Straight ahead and again close to the sticks. This time it's Darian Robinson, who has 925 yards on the ground this year and 7 touchdowns. He is ending a terrific career here shortly.
The start of the triple is the dive. They double team the player in the A gap right next to the center. And he keeps the ball with the fullback that time. And they call him the B-back. We'll be talking about that all day.
Already halfway through the first quarter, which is an advantage to the Citadel. On third down, Robinson dives ahead and picks up the first down to the 47-yard line. So start of a good drive for the Bulldogs, who are hoping to shock the world today against Clemson. Kevin Higgins had a bit of a smile on his face when we talked with him prior to the game today, but he knows it's a David versus Goliath matchup, and he's the David.
He's done a great job with this program. When he has not won this year, he has played very tight ball games. He is growing this program. He's been here 9 years, and he converted over to the triple option 4 years ago.
This is his 101st coaching game as a member of the Citadel team. On 1st and 10, Dupree fakes and looking down the field. Throwing down the field, has a receiver incomplete at the 25-yard line, intended for Jake Stenson.
This is the fake up into the middle line off the reverse pivot and the pitch. And he's running his wheel route, their version of the wheel route. He is wide open. Just can't connect on the throw.
Had several steps on
Jake Stenson.
The defender, Robert Smith, the safety. By the way, Dupree has only attempted 75 passes this year, John. And this is game 12.
Aaron Miller, the backup, will throw it a little bit more when he comes in the game.
Quarterback keep, Dupree met at midfield. They'll mark it at the 49 of Clemson. That'll bring us to a 3rd and 6.
When you run this veer and you run the midline, there's similar plays with just one gap removed in terms of the width of the play. The quarterback always has that option to pull the ball out and then follow that B-back, that running back, into the hole, whether it's in the A gap or in the B gap. And that's the quarterback follow play. He's only 5'9", 185-pound senior, but he is a tough cookie.
Oh, yeah. Play clock inside 10. Dupree, inside handoff. They need to pick up 6, won't get it. And that leaves the Citadel with a decision here on 4th down.
Looks like they're going to send the punt team out there.
Probably not a bad idea with this quick strike offense that Clemson has and the ability to go vertical at any time.
Eric Goins, the redshirt freshman, he's got a 40.8 average, and he's got 12 punts inside the 20, which is a good percentage.
And that will be his goal here. Adam Humphries back to return. Humphries lets it go. And a good Citadel bounce, which will land inside the Clemson 5. Well done by Goins. Well, on senior day today, Taj Boyd has already thrown a touchdown pass, and the Tigers have a 7-0 advantage. Tigers decked out in the new purple unis to celebrate Military Appreciation Day. Taj Boyd, the starting quarterback and senior quarterback, part of 51 records set here under his tutelage and Dabo Sweeney's 5 years experience. We're going to have a quiz on how many you remember later in the broadcast, and this is a list of each of the 51. And for more on that, here's Angela Mallon.
Well, Jim, back in 2008, Clemson wasn't even going to recruit another quarterback. They thought Willie Corn would be the future of this program. Then he battled the injuries, and that's when Dabo Sweeney got the head job. First thing he was tasked with, he said, was finding a quarterback. And he went hot after Taj Boyd. Boyd saying, I need someone to build this program around. He said, I have no track record, but we are going to build trust. And the funny story he tells is he's got Jim Tressel in the backyard. He's got Mike Bellotti on the front porch. And here he is just trying to build trust and get this guy. I think it worked out pretty good for the both of them, Jim.
I think so too, Angela. It's a great story. In fact, in addition to those two coaches, there are other teams interested as well. Tennessee, West Virginia, among some of the heavyweights, and Taj Boyd winds up here. And that becomes part of the legacy of Clemson football. After the first down pickup, back to the ground game. Roderick McDowell gets 5 yards on first downs. We're under 4 minutes. And touchdown responsibility. He has been a part of 121 scores. That's an ACC rank of #1. Touchdown passes now 98, and closing in on the all-time ACC yardage record for throwing. That'll help. Out to Martavis Bryant, a first down up at the 43-yard line, and a gain of 20.
Not a lot of effort to throw this ball. He has such a strong arm. Perfect touch, throwing it right into that corner route by Martavis Bryant, the big 6'5" player, fastest player, they say, on the Clemson team.
Here's Boyd to throw again. He's got man coverage to Bryant, off his hands, out of bounds at the 30. The only blemish on the Clemson Tiger efforts this year on record is the lopsided loss to Florida State just a few weeks ago.
This looks like a takeoff route with the corner coming, and then he just fails to get his head back around because it looks like one of those back shoulder throws from Boyd.
Free safety Nick Willis defending there. 2nd and 10 from the 43, and Watkins in motion. Set off the inside handoff. The close run here is near the sticks. Rod McDowell picks up 9, and it'll be 3rd and short. He is the every down back of this team, who for his career has rushed for almost 1,450 yards. Gets the ball again in the secondary. He's got a first down to the 40 for the Tigers.
Clemson will play the numbers game. Who's in the box, who's out of the box, covering down the wide receivers, and then they will decide what they're doing, running the football or throwing it out to the perimeter.
Already had 7-0, and a quick toss to Mike Williams, that good-looking freshman, who's able to carry the football down to the 30.
I'll tell you what, Jim, I've coached against Clemson 4 times, and you know, it's every year they've got 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" receivers out there. We were down there in pregame. How good does Martavis Bryant look?
He's big, 6'5".
Big boy.
Bryant and Watkins are both juniors. Lots of speculation on what happens after this season if these two Tigers are coming back. Bryant throwing to the end zone. Touchdown, Mike Williams.
We got trips into the boundary, the short side, and Williams just runs a takeoff route. Obviously, that takes an awful lot of work between quarterback and receiver to throw that ball up and over and down the chimney. Great throw, very good catch, great body position to the far side of the field.
2:28 left, opening quarter at Clemson, now up by 2 touchdowns, 14-0, as Mike Williams out of Lake Marion High School in Vance, South Carolina, with a 30-yard catch for the 2nd score of the game. That was a fast drive again. 8 plays, 95 yards, under 2 minutes.
Boyd had already faked the hitch to the left into the boundary and then chose to throw back. The receiver did a great job giving himself lots of room over there on the sideline to let Boyd throw the ball in between the defender and the sideline. Great execution. That's something you work on almost every single day in a slow period and perhaps in a fast-moving defensive period.
Well, with a Big 12 title up for grabs, it's win and control your destiny tonight on ABC. Undefeated Bears, led by quarterback Bryce Petty, and their explosive offense in position to move up the BCS standings and remain in the national championship hunt. While the number 10 Cowboys aim to add their name to the BCS conversation, it's Saturday Night Football, presented by Windows. Baylor, Oklahoma State, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific on ABC. Baylor 9-0 in the year, 6-0 in the league. Oklahoma State is 9-1 overall and 6-1 in conference play with 6 consecutive wins. This one 2 yards deep in the end zone, and the Citadel will start from its own 25. Well, back to this one between Baylor and Oklahoma State tonight. Baylor averaging over 60 points a game, has won 13 in a row. Well, the Oklahoma State defense, John, has allowed under 20 points per game.
This is going to be a fantastic game. Oklahoma State, known for their offense, also playing great defense this year, but Baylor's playing great defense, and I like this Bryce Petty kid. He's got a touchdown to interception ratio of 21-1.
Wow. On the outside pitch, the carry is to the 28-yard line and a gain of 3. Dalton Trevino, who has carried on the season for 230 yards with the toss. Taj Boyd in this game 9 for 11, 125 yards and a couple of scores.
How do you think Chad Morris is feeling over there? You know,
good.
I don't want my guys to think just play fast. They're playing fast, aren't they?
How about for the Citadel? How do you get back in this one if it's possible?
You've got to stick with what you brought you here. You've got to stick with your guys and run this triple and make some first downs. Burn some clock.
Bulldogs on 2nd and 7. Dupree on a quarterback keep. He's got a first down and runs out of bounds up at the 41-yard line for a pickup of 13. Well done.
Watch this quarterback run this load option to the outside. Great block on the perimeter by Dalton Trevino, which allows the quarterback to scoot upfield for a first down.
13 rushes and a single pass for the Citadel in this game. For Clemson, 8 plays on the ground and 11 in the air. Just about what you might expect.
Citadel in an unbalanced line and run back to the short side.
And Dupree swallowed up for a loss on the play.
This is what these defensive ends did so well last week against Georgia Tech. Standing in a 2-point position, staying flat-footed along the line of scrimmage, and watching the quarterback and playing off his every move.
Corey Crawford, number 93, is the only returning starting defender for Dabo Swinney. And in fact, at 22 years of age, he actually was on the sideline last year, lost his starting job. And the coach said how he got it back. Well, the sideline can be inspiration.
Some lessons learned. I'll tell you this, this is a very disciplined football program. A lot of heart.
On 2nd and 13, Dupree on the pitch to the other side. And nothing happening there. Great pursuit.
A lot of purple shorts, Jim.
Yeah, 42. Stephon Anthony was up there from his Mike linebacker position.
Stephon Anthony's a leading tackler, and there's a good reason why. He can run. Stays on his feet. All the tacklers out there in this audience, that's how you tackle in the open field. Stay on your feet. Tackle high. Get him on the ground.
That's the final play of the first quarter. When the Citadel comes back, it is 3rd and very long. Dabo Swinney, his 5th full year as head coach, and Tigers off to the expected good start because Taj Boyd on senior day touched the rock and found his receivers. Tigers first quarter 176 total yards, just 41 for the Citadel. Clemson ahead 14-0. Jim Barber, John Bunting, and Angela Mallon down on the sidelines.
You know, Jim,
You talk about trying to simulate the Citadel offense, run that triple option against the Clemson defense. How about the Citadel scout team trying to simulate the Clemson offense?
You can't.
You can't do it. It's impossible to do because of the quarterback and the receivers that Clemson has.
You and I were down on the sidelines today just taking a look at the Clemson Tigers and their physical makeup, and I mean, there are some big cats on that field.
Every time I've played against them as a coach, these guys got big, tall, sleek receivers.
And some pretty good defenders like that kid, Quandon Christian, playing in his final home game. Part of that dandy dozen that Dabo Swinney recruited back in 2009. Some people think he's got an NFL future.
I think all three of these linebackers, of course, Anthony's a junior, number 42, but Christian, number 34, Shuey, number 33. I think they'll find their way into a training camp and make it. They have great training here at Clemson.
Third punt of the game for the Citadel. Humphreys with the catch and the return. And the big fan of Wes Welker brings it back to the 20-yard line for a return of 8. Well, Clemson's defense has to deal with the triple option for the
turn to the end zone.
And back to live action and a rush on first down. Where Clemson has been solid today. We mentioned averaging 9 yards per play in this game. Here comes 7 on the first down. And it's 2nd and 3, and they're on the move again. Led by the quarterback, Taj Boyd. Back to Roderick McDowell, who has the first down across the 40-yard line.
You know, Jim, we talked about Roderick McDowell, Hot Rod McDowell, they call him down here. They have had James Davis. They've had C.J. Spiller. They got Andre Ellington's playing first string for the Cardinals now. This young man has had to take it on his own this year.
And back to Humphrey, who gets stoned, or rather McDowell, who gets stoned on the first down rush. Is 44, Bay Amrine with a stick. And David Beasley shaken up for a moment. He is the left guard of the Tigers.
Another fine tackle that time by Bay Amrine. He's a senior, 6'2", 235-pounder. Collapsed down the line of scrimmage.
And you have to be careful when you're a defender not to leave the crown, because targeting has been a major part of the college football rules and results in ejections, and has on time to time. That's the Bryant. On a bullet inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line. That's another Clemson Tiger first down to pick up a 19. Well, Tigers started from their own 25 and punted on their first series, but since then touchdown on drives of 61 and 95 yards. And they're already in short field territory of the Citadel. 3-step drop for Boyd. Down the field he throws. Tipped up in the air. Caught. Adam Humphreys, who admires Wes Welker with that solid possession there.
Sometimes it's good to be a little lucky. The trajectory of this ball is a little low, and the ball gets tapped up by the middle linebacker. He makes the completion.
Well, what did Danny Pearman tell us on this rush for first down to the 8? He's a special teams coach. He was mentioning yesterday that he thinks Humphreys may have the longest tenure of the National Football League when he gets there.
We've talked about Humphreys and the things that he can do in the slot position like a Wes Welker, and can go out and play great special teams. And here we go. Fast snap and pitch.
McDowell, after picking up 13 of the first down, is now stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and goal as we are at the 12-minute mark of the first half. Clemson 14, the Citadel nothing. Chad Morris, who many years ago was making under $22,000 a year as a Texas high school football coach. He's got his team fired up in the red zone. Tossed by Boyd. Caught. Samuel Watkins. Touchdown.
That's the reason why right there, graphically, why he may not be back here at Clemson this year. He is that good. He is that strong. He has that good a feel, and his hands are outstanding. just puts the ball in perfect position, gives a little push-up, but he's so strong. And he's so instinctive. And I tell you what, boys, this coaching staff love Sammy Watkins. They will support any move he might make after this season is over.
That is his 10th touchdown reception of the year, and for Taj Boyd, his 100th career touchdown throw. It's all Tigers, and is this the final home game for Sammy Watkins, the outstanding junior expected to head to the NFL next season? That's number 2, Clemson wide receiver Sammy Watkins, the top receiver in the Atlantic Coast Conference in yards, passes caught, and a whole lot of other things. This is the 3rd scoring drive of the game for the Tigers of more than 60 yards. And it is 21-0 in favor of the Tigers, and probably going as we expected, John.
Playing fast, not thinking. Great quarterback play. And these receivers, they just know where everyone has to fit on the field. It's kind of like playing defense. They know where they need to be in order to affect coverage and get somebody open, whether it be deep or short.
By the way, they just announced here to this sellout crowd that Taj Boyd has become the 18th all-time quarterback to throw for 100 touchdown passes or more in this great game that we know.
More records.
Citadel with a return inside the 5. And this drive will start at the Bulldogs' 23-yard line. Angela Mallon has a terrific story in the Citadel, and Andy Clausen, who has spent a number of years with the Bulldogs.
Well, Jim, that's right. That young man you're looking at right there is Andy Clausen. He's been 41 years as the head athletic trainer for the Citadel, and in year 2 of his career, they were in East Carolina, and the athletic director handed him a manila folder and said, do this. And what this was to also be the director of operations. I said, Andy, how do you do all this? And he said, well, I do physical therapy and ice baths and rapping in the morning. Then I get on the telephone and I book hotel rooms, buses, and meals. He said, I love this job. I don't get tired of it. I could do it for another 20 years.
John, he is a man of many talents, is he not?
A beautiful story. I tell you what, you get so many of them in football, and mostly it's the players, but here's one with one of those guys that have such a great effect on the student athlete every single day. They see them sometimes more than the coaches do.
Think of the number of coaches that he has seen. D.L. Davis, former of the Oakland Raiders. Ralph Friedgen, who coached at Maryland. He's got a game face on there, too, in the sidelines as well.
I like that.
I like that.
Beaner.
Dupree on the pitch. Trying to run outside where the Georgia Tech Tigers, or rather Rambling Wreck, had very little luck against the Tigers in their 24-point loss previous Thursday night here in Death Valley.
You know, when I left North Carolina in 2006, I probably had about 7 to 8 guys with football ops. I bet you Clemson has 20 guys involved with football ops, which means that they're handling all the social media, all of the hotel bookings, all of the recruiting, the files, the tapes, the this, the that. It's just an amazing business now.
One receiver in the slot, one to the outside on 3rd down off the I formation. Dupree lost the ball. Clemson's got a chance to return this. That's a touchdown. Quantum Christian. It's his final game as a Tiger, at least in terms of playing in this stadium, and what a moment for him.
Right as he goes to pitch the ball, the defender places his hand in front, and look at the scoop and score by Quandon Christian. That's a pretty good thing to do on senior day.
Absolutely, as scripted, I'm sure. Defensive coordinator Brent Venables enjoying that. It is now 28-0 in favor of the Tigers, and the route is on. Another look at the Tigers scoring on defense for the first time today. The pop on Dupree and the scoop and score by Quandon Christian. That's the backup left corner, Gary Peters, who was responsible for the hit on quarterback Ben Dupree that caused the fumble, and then Quandon Christian got the scoop and the score. And this is quite a hit right here. Bang. Well, Christian was asked by his buddy Taj Boyd, are you going to cry after your final home game today? And he said, no, but what about you? And he thinks Boyd probably be emotional, but Christian did say it's a very bittersweet day, and what a way to go out.
And back to the cornerbacks. Brent Venables told us in the meeting yesterday that these are the best tackling corners he's ever been around.
Another chance for a return. And the Citadel will start again about the typical position it has for most of the game at the 23-yard line on the 25-yard return by Terrence Martin. Well, you haven't had much luck running the football. What about throwing it? Can you go vertical with this type of offensive structure that typically is not designed for it?
It's not built to throw the ball with the various concepts of the throwing game. You know, putting three to a side and having a short and a medium and a deep route, having crossing routes. No, they have play action passes where they try to sneak somebody out deep and make a big play. On occasion, they might seek a guy across the line of scrimmage and dump it to him. This is not built to throw the football.
Checking up on the catch play for 44, B.J. Goodson.
.44 B.J. Goodson is the injured player. These two schools are separated by less than 250 miles. The Citadel and 7th-ranked Clemson. They have not played since 2008. And as you might imagine, this series has been dominated by the bigger school and the Clemson Tigers. So Kevin Higgins knows how difficult it's the matchup against Dabo Swinney, but he was also saying during the week, earlier in the conference call, he thought, you know, this is a good chance for our guys to measure up and take a look at themselves when it's completed.
It's a great chance for one of these young men to play in a game like this, of this magnitude, see how he plays, wake up the next day, look himself in the mirror. Hey, how did I stack up against those Clemson Tigers?
Tyler Renew, 36, is the fullback. Dupree over center. And another big hit at the 25-yard line. And Renew off the belly dive got spanked there just after a gain of a couple.
Those big defensive tackles, DJ Reader, Grady Jarrett, they are stacking those A-gaps, making it's almost impossible to get in there. They're going to have to take that dive, that veer option, a gap wider.
Everybody in tight except the receiver to the far side. Dupree looks to throw, shoots one vertical, and looking for a receiver, and it's broken up at the 45-yard line by the safety, Robert Smith. Pretty good lead there to the outside receiver, Nick Jeffries, or actually tight end, but goes as a long incompleted pass.
This is great eye control by the safety, Robert Smith. He sees the tight end release. He knows it's not a triple option play because the tight end's released off the ball. He goes to play him, and then he gets his head turned around to tip the ball at the last second away from the receiver.
So on 3rd and 8, where the Citadel on third down conversions is just 2 of 6, must face this crowd of over 80,000. Dupree trying to turn it up, going nowhere. Grady Jarrett, number 50, the left defensive tackle who took away the inside against Georgia Tech, is able to take away the outside here.
Clemson defenders playing square to the line of scrimmage, moving their feet, outnumbering the Citadel to make the tackle for a loss.
So as we approach the 1 o'clock hour in the Eastern time zone, Citadel punting the football for the 4th time today, and that's a look at 6'1", 295-pound Grady Jarrett. Adam Humphries with a fair catch. On senior day, 19 total seniors for Clemson. 10 were scholarship players. And for Dabo Swinney, it's going as expected and as preferred.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the recent Thomas and Hannah Clemson.
Back to football here, back to business with Clemson leading 28-0. The ACC matched up with the SoCon. Taj Boyd back to throw and now flushed out of the pocket. And he'll run the football. Don't expect him to run much today because of the shoulder problems and the injury he suffered against Georgia Tech 9 days ago. But it has been the Taj Boyd show today, Coach.
He's got all the throws, and they've executed some screen plays, and now we throw it down the chimney, and here is good on pretty good defender. 6'1" versus 6'1", Sammy Watkins wins.
And a receiver open at the 40-yard line. That football by Leggett is dropped. Jordan Leggett is a freshman and out of Florida who was suspended for the Georgia Tech game, but now back in uniform and back on the field. Boyd is 12 for 15 today, 173 yards, 3 scores, and 100 career touchdown passes. A third and most unlikely for Clemson. 13 yards needed for a first down. Off the play fake, Boyd down the field's got a receiver. That's Bryant, first down, and he's dragged out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Bryant with a pickup at 26.
Otherwise, this play developed here. Taj Boyd throws the ball on time, perfectly, hits it in the hands. That's where you want it. They'll come up with that ball.
McDowell facing the teeth of the Citadel defense on the first down carry. Picking up 3, 2nd and 7. We don't expect Clemson to get out of its tempo, do we?
This is what they do. This is how they play. It's just a matter of when is Taj Boyd going to take a seat and let somebody else play. Whether it will be at the beginning of the second half. I'm sure they want to give him a fine adios here at Death Valley.
Roderick McDowell straight ahead, and looks like he's got enough to the 30-yard line for pickup of 7. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Well, McDowell is a graduate senior. There are a number of graduates on this team, and Chad Morris appreciates his work. You know, the running game at times has struggled a bit.
Well, he has done everything for them this year.
Yep.
Blocking, catching the football. Got 21 receptions. No, he just does everything. They're used to. Clemson's gotten spoiled with having 2 backs, 2 great backs out there and alternating them.
Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator, was a high school coach just a few years ago in Texas. We mentioned his salary at the time, a shade under $22,000. Now he's making a mere $1.3 million. And he was able to hook up with Gus Malzone when it got to the point that he wanted to find out how to improve his coaching at a place he landed in high school football in Texas. More on the story in a moment as Boyd throws, incomplete, intended for the freshman Jordan Leggett. Anyway, he hooked up with Gus, who was in Arkansas at the time as a coach, trying to find out how to improve the no-huddle offense. And he was able to get the entire offensive unit to go out there, fly out there from Texas to Arkansas.
From his high school.
Yeah, which is most impressive. And Gus realized, hey, we've got a serious guy here. So one thing led to another. Wound up in Tulsa for a year as a college coach. And now he's the hottest coordinator in the country here at Clemson.
What inspired him to make that trip was he took over the same high school job that Art Briles had just left, who had won all the time. He doesn't win. He decides, I got to change if I'm going to stay in this business. Checks out Gus Malzone, and the rest is really history. Goes to Tulsa for a year to coach and comes to Clemson at Dabo Swinney's request. And now he is running the show here for this being his 3rd season. He'll become a very fine head coach someday when the time is right.
From the 19-yard line, running wide is Watkins, and he may have picked up a yard at most, as that will set up a field goal opportunity for the Tigers. Check that, is now 3rd down.
It's just another form of the jet sweep. Watkins comes in motion, and instead of handing it to him, he tosses it to him. Let your great players make plays in space.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Boyd.
There's that back shoulder
to Bryant. Near the pylon. Touchdown. This will likely be up for review, but right now it's Clemson 34-0.
You've got to check this wingspan out by Martavis Bryant.
Well, he hung on to the ball.
He takes off at about the 4, doesn't he?
Yeah. See if he extends. I think he got it.
Extends and hits the pylon. That's remarkable. So that's 4 yards. Is his arms 4 yards long?
He's a big guy.
That's 4 yards.
Kenan Holcomb is our replay technician today. Technical advisor George Burton. TV liaison Rick Walton, and did the ball extend to the pylon while he stayed in bounds? I think he got it.
I think he does too. First of all, it's been called a touchdown. So indisputable video evidence has to be given to overturn it. And based on what we've seen so far, there's none.
If it stands, 4th touchdown pass of the game for Taj Boyd. And his 101st of an illustrious career.
You know, there's also discussion whether this Martavis Bryant may come out this year. You know, he has played, he's got 10 starts. He's played 34 games, but he's got 10 starts. Sometimes I think as a young player, you ought to come back and play another year to really develop the strength.
That's our referee, Tom McCreesh, who validated what everybody here was pretty much convinced had happened. 5th touchdown of the game for the Tigers. We still have 5.5 minutes remaining in the opening half. So Martavis Bryant has a decision to make after this season as well, along with Sammy Watkins.
A couple others.
Yep. Vic Beasley, the outstanding defensive end. Bryant with that 76-yard catch and run that electrified this crowd in the game against Georgia Tech on ESPN just 9 days ago. The Tiger and their fans getting a lot of work out today in the crowd as the lead has reached 35. Welcome back to Military Appreciation Day on the campus of Clemson University, with the Tigers have a substantial lead in this game, 35-0. That scoring drive moments ago, 10 plays, 65 yards. Martavis Bryant with a 19-yard catch for the score, and the 5th scoring drive of the game today, under 3 minutes.
Look at those numbers. 312 yards total offense for Clemson, 46 for the Citadel. Now, we talk about these NFL players that Clemson has. Will they come out, not come out? You know, you look at Taj Boyd. He decided he's going to stay in for a senior year with Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator. Pretty good decision.
I think you would.
I think he improved this year underneath his guidance.
If you were allowed to advise Bryant, I think you would suggest he'd stay in another year, right?
I think I would.
Well, the Citadel, 16 seniors play their final college football game today. And their day is a little atypical because it's the military. Wake up at 06:15, then breakfast, then classes for 4 hours, lunch at 1200. Then classes again, meetings, film, lifts, and practice, on to dinner. And we'll revisit that graphic in a moment as Miller now is the quarterback for the Citadel. Aaron Miller, and another stick on the outside, this time by Bashad Breeland in the right corner. Look how disciplined this day is, and this is every day for the Citadel.
There are not a whole lot of those guys thinking about going to the NFL, but there's a lot of those guys that learn leadership skills that can't be learned any other place. And they come out of here and become great leaders in the community, great businessmen, go on to other careers.
The B-back Jake Stenson shaking on the play for the Citadel. We'll take a look at how it happened. Andy Clausen, the man of all seasons for the Citadel, down to help him out. And there's the play by Breland, who had 5 tackles, a tackle for loss, couple of pass breakups, and a pick against Georgia Tech.
We met Bashad yesterday. What a fine young man. Big player. He's got a shot to play at the next level when that time comes. A lot of plays, 21 starts, 4th leading tackler, and you can see he is a good one. 4 interceptions as well. So
2-quarterback system today for the Citadel, as Aaron Miller, who's considered to be the pass-first guy in this team, at 6 foot, 220 pounds, and a junior, is now in the game.
He has got athleticism. Welch has just not played as much as Ben Dupree.
Angela Mallon will talk with Dabo Sweeney at halftime to get his thoughts on the first half and how long he'll keep with Taj Boyd before he has a seat. That and the drama of one of their backup receivers as to whether Daniel Rodriguez, who has been awarded the Purple Heart, will get a chance to score a touchdown today. The toss from Miller out to the flat, well defended.
Another great tackle out there in space.
London Christian, who already has a 22-yard fumble return for touchdown, makes the stick there, and once again the Citadel off the field.
Watch the knee bend out there, young players. Keeps his feet moving, never lets his feet go dead, shoots his guns from his hips. I tell you what, that's perfect. That's just how you teach it. Great coaching. Brent Venables, he is not only the defense coordinator, he is a linebacker coach as well.
By the way, speaking of Daniel Rodriguez, he's in place of Adam Humphries to return a punt. Will he get his first touchdown today? That's the drama that'll be unfolding. Calls for a fair catch and a sliding one at that at the Clemson 42-yard line. Daniel Rodriguez had the honor of waving the flag today. He was awarded the Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and the Medal of Valor for combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. That was pregame today, and I don't think the crowd got any louder than it did, John, for that moment.
How good is that? Once again, this is a very special venue. Frank Howard Field here in Clemson Memorial Stadium. Death Valley.
Taj Boyd to McDowell. Jukes his way for a gain of 8. Boyd has had all types of time to throw the ball in his offensive line of Thomas, Beasley, Norton, Shatley, and Battle have been terrific.
I tell you, McDowell is also a very good receiver, and Taj Boyd has all day to throw.
McDowell breaks the tackle, picks up a first down to the 41-yard line.
He's maybe not as quick as some of the other backs who've played here, but he has got great balance, great vision. That's what you need as a great back.
Boyd fakes the end around, gets out of trouble, and throws. And that's an incompleted pass. One of the few times he has been under duress today. The pressure coming from the right side, and eventually got it loose.
That's Oxendine. He's their very best pass rusher from the edge. He's got 10.5 TFLs, 3.5 sacks. Good pressure there. Good first move around the offensive tackle. Isaiah Battle.
4 receivers set with trips to the right of the quarterback, and he'll do a handoff to McDowell. Breaks one tackle, and then is stood up as the pile moves forward. Another 4 yards to the 36.
That's that offensive line jumping in there to push the pile.
Now on third down, McDowell again. Breaks yet another tackle down to the 29-yard line. 82 yards on the ground today for the graduate student, Roderick McDowell. You can add 6 more actually to that total, now up to 88.
They're going fast. You have to get off the field fast. You don't want to have 12 guys out there, don't you?
To Sammy Watkins to try to make it happen. And Watkins knocked out of bounds to the 19, a gain of 11. Sammy Watkins is a junior. He missed 2 games last year due to a drug suspension. But his coach had so much praise for this guy and what he's been able to develop into. And Watkins says that was a wake-up call, missing football for a couple of games.
So much of this game is played outside of the hash marks and sometimes outside of the numbers, the printed numbers there on the field. So you have to be a great coordinated defense to get everybody there to take care of some of those quick throws to the boundary to a guy like Sammy Watkins, who has great yards after the catch.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 44 defense. After distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's on the defensive end, 44 Bay Amrine. And it'll be a half distance to the goal penalty. So Clemson now first and goal from the 9. Trying to make this a 6 touchdown advantage. Again at the break, Dabo Swinney to talk with Angela Mallon on the field. Boyd looking to the end zone and complete. That was intended for Humphreys, as Boyd tried to get his 5th touchdown throw of the game.
High throw here. He has McDowell wide open in the left flat. He just didn't give him that look over there. The corner was defending 2 people out there, one in the corner of the end zone and McDowell in the flat. Just didn't see it. Here's the screen.
To McDowell, makes one man miss, makes another miss, headed to the end zone, touchdown.
Very quick running back screen. The linemen leave in a hurry and are out there to lead the way in McDowell. He's going to make a guy miss. But this is great execution, good call. Not many people throw screen passes inside the 20-yard line.
Chandler Catanzaro on for his 6th extra point. Logan Jenkins will hold. $1:12 remaining in the first half, and Taj Boyd now has thrown for 5 first half touchdowns.
There's not a whole lot of thinking going on right here. Takes 2 steps back, throws to McDowell. He makes somebody miss. The blockers are out front, got people on the ground. Makes it to the end zone.
McDowell's 2nd touchdown reception of the season. That scoring drive, another most efficient 8 plays, 58 yards, 2 minutes. Let's go from football to basketball. We'll continue to talk Clemson, though. The Charleston Classic tips off, or has tipped off Thursday from sunny Charleston, South Carolina. And now Clemson has made it to the championship games. Battle of unbeatens, by the way. Clemson and UMass, Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. Last night, Clemson on a blowout win over Davidson as Brad Brownell's team jumped up by 20 in the first half and didn't step off the gas. A.J. McDaniels had 22 last night in that victory. DeMarcus Harrison backed him up at 20. So I imagine there'll be some people from this game will jump in the car either today or sometime tomorrow and head on over to Charleston. Just about a 4-hour drive. A little faster if you're driving.
No, I'm a very slow driver. Very slow driver. But I do love going to Charleston. That is a great place where the Citadel also is there. Beautiful.
I must be thinking of somebody else there when it comes to speed. For the Bulldogs, it's been punt, 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 fumble for touchdown, punt, punt.
Not sustaining the drives that they need to do to make this a football game. And, of course, it's been very frustrating for them because they normally have success with this offense. It's just that Clemson, number one, very good on defense, very disciplined, and it's the third week in a row that they're prepared for the triple option.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were talking to the head coach, Kevin Higgins, about that during the week. And he said, well, how do you think they'll defend you with this triple option? He said, well, they've had 3 weeks of training. They had a bye week. Then they had the prep for Georgia Tech, and now us.
Early this year, I had the opportunity to do their game, and I watched some of their tape. They're amazing. They had a 19-play, 9-minute drive to start a game earlier this season. That's a lot of football to be played.
And you were witness to that 59-58 thriller with Old Dominion.
Oh, what a game. Everything could happen, could happen.
Half a minute to go in the first half. And the clock will stop after the first down pickup. Aaron Miller, the backup quarterback, with his second series.
You know, a lot of people would say, why don't they go to an open attack right now? Well, that's not what they do. That's not how they work. That's not what they practice. Certainly they have a few passes in their scheme. But maybe in the second half we'll see more of that. But right now they want to get off this field, go in at halftime, and talk about things. See if we can make some first downs in the second half.
Final play of the first half. Miller keeps, and the second quarter is history. Gonna get at halftime the punt Ruski. Remember, 25 years later, ACC News and Notes and first half stats and highlights. Let's go to Angela with Dabo.
Coach, why is it so important to perform well on Senior Day?
Well, I mean, we want to perform well every day, but this is a special day. It's their last time in the Valley. This group has been special in every regard, but you got to finish. And, you know, you want to finish the right way. And what a great first half. Really a complete game. All three phases playing very well. Really proud of Taj. I mean, he just came out ready to go. And, you know, had Quan and Christian get a touchdown, one of our seniors. Taj has been on fire. Hot Rod right there punching it in. So all those guys have been very, very special. It's good to see them have a good first half. Now we got to go finish.
Now, obvious question. When are you going to pull Taj?
Well, I don't know. We'll probably let him come out and get a little bit more here in the third quarter and then get him out pretty quick.
All right, Coach, thank you. And, Coach Bunny, you mentioned earlier Chad Morris's offensive philosophy, play fast, don't think. I think that pretty much sums up the first half here in Death Valley.
I would say so. It has played a lot of fast, not a whole lot of thinking, but a whole lot of scoring.
And that sums up our first half on Military Appreciation Day. Down the hill for the last time for many of the seniors of the Clemson Tigers, who have a 42-0.
Corners are so involved and so tuned in to what the Citadel's doing, coming up and make some really, really fine plays.
Chandler Catanzaro on a kickoff. We'll join Angela Mellon on the field shortly to get an assessment of the Citadel in the first half. And they'll begin their drive for the 25-yard line. And here's Angela.
We tried to simulate Clemson's offense in practice this week, but they've just were too fast and too quick. That was Coach Higgins' message at halftime. He said, we were not able to get first downs, and that's what really hurt us. Clemson earned it all the way down the field, Jim.
Yeah, in fact, Angela, just 4 first downs in that first half, and minus passing yardage on the only toss that was thrown in the game. Now to the second half, we'll see a lot of the Tigers' second and third and maybe fourth teamers out there.
Doing something a little different here, spreading the field. The slot backs are out detached from the offensive line, and they come back with a counter option play and pick up a few yards.
Arian Robinson came with 921 yards in the bank, and upon appearing on campus at the Citadel, he walked through the gate, his very first appearance at the military school, and somebody said, pull up your socks, tie your shorts, tuck in your shirt. This is a military institution. Welcome to boot camp.
A different lifestyle.
That's 7 yards on the first carry of the second half, and Dupree gets swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Spencer Shooney, the will linebacker, number 33. This is his final home game out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
What they did several times against Georgia Tech is shoot one of the linebackers into the B or the A gap. And Spencer Shooney made a big play right there. That looked like it had some promise as he got down the line of scrimmage. Never got a chance to get there.
Well, Shooney got some encouraging words from the great Ray Lewis, who started with the Baltimore Ravens, who came to talk to the team back in 2012, and he was spellbound by what Lewis said and also how Lewis trains for a season. Lots of information picked up that's been pretty valuable. Ben Dupree takes a timeout for the Citadel, and we'll take a break. Just a minute and 12 seconds into our third quarter. Battle of the Tigers and Bulldogs, Cats and Dogs today here on ESPN3. It is 3rd and 6 for the Citadel. Dupree keeps the football, cuts it back, and gets the first down and a pickup of 8 yards for the senior quarterback out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Jim, that's a bunch of Wanto red right here now. They put up the bear front. We saw some of this on tape, other people doing that. They covered the guards, covered the center. Dupree recognized that and carried the ball out beyond the 3 technique, which is the defensive end that was stacked down on the offensive guard, and was able to pick up the first down. A lot of want-to.
In the meantime, focus right now and the quiet nature of the fans directed toward Quandon Christian, their Sam linebacker, the 5th-year senior. And the last thing you want at any time of the season is an injury, particularly on a day that's designated for celebration of the seniors. But right now they are working on that left leg of Christian, who has a 22-yard fumble return for a touchdown. While we have a break, let's go back in history. John, I know you haven't forgotten about this one. October 20th, 2001. You were here as head coach of North Carolina.
I don't know where that came from. I mean, that is ancient history right there.
And you ruined somebody's homecoming. How dare you?
I tell you, that was a special day. As my first year coaching, I had a lot of good players on defense, and it showed that day because Woody Dantzler was a Heisman hopeful, and they had destroyed NC State the week before. They had, I think, over 500 yards of total offense, and we were able to shut them down. And it was homecoming. It was Parent Day, similar like today, and they are all gone by the end of the third quarter.
Well, this was a good moment. Of course, not all of them were good because you were here in 06 trying to wrap things up with Carolina, and middle of the season took a tough loss, and that eventually led some changes over there. So I'm sure that as you take a look at what's developed over the years, to have a win, any win in this stadium is remarkable.
Played them tough here in 03, but the 06 game was really the end. It was the demise of our program at that point because it was just destruction right here on a hot October day, and we really played poorly. But hats off to these guys. This program has changed since then, Jim. Dabo Swinney has done a terrific job really re-energizing the fan base. And for what I see here, the leadership of this program is second to none. I am just totally impressed with what they're doing here, leadership-wise.
And you had a chance to talk to some of the kids yesterday, did you not?
As a matter of fact, after we met Dabo Swinney in his office, I got to go in and meet his leadership council, which I thought might be about 10, 12 guys. It was like 30. So he's recruiting his own players to get into the leadership program.
Dupree on the pitch out. For a gain of maybe a yard by Vinnie Miller. He's a 5'10 sophomore out of North Augusta, South Carolina. So in a battle in the state between Clemson and South Carolina, you mentioned recruiting, and Clemson with a slight edge over the last 5 years.
A big-time battle between these two schools in this state. SEC, ACC, Clemson, it's just been going on for years. And lately, it looks as if Clemson has done a better job. That's how they rank. Now the question is, how do they play?
And even though Clemson has had the advantage in recruiting, South Carolina has won the war in the last 4 meetings. So Clemson will try to stop a 4-game losing streak next week in South Carolina, namely Columbia.
You watch this defensive line on this toss play get around and upfield versus the crack back, and look at the tackle on the perimeter by the cornerback.
Number 14, Martin Jenkins,
backup corner, makes a tremendous play for about a 5-yard loss.
And in the win over Georgia Tech 9 days ago, 10 tackles for losses by this defensive team. Dupree keeps and might have got back to the original line of scrimmage, but in the meantime, well short of the first down. And so once again, the Bulldogs will give up the ball. And Daniel Rodriguez, number 83, they're trying to get him a touchdown today, is back to return. And the reason for that is he has served in the military in Afghanistan and Iraq and
was holding the flag up by Howard's Rock prior to the game.
Recipient of the Purple Heart Award, Medal of Valor. Loses the football in a fair catch. Clemson, I think, got it back, though, up to the 36, and Rodriguez was diving for that ball as well. He might have actually fallen on it. He got it back.
This is a scary deal right here. 100 guys are running down on you 45 miles an hour, and you have a ball that you're trying to track. He was able to recover. That's a big play.
And with that, we have a television timeout. Tiger football when we re-begin our game, and Taj Boyd has been part of 51 school records. And we'll show you the speed of these records at about the speed that Boyd plays the game. And today has thrown 5 touchdown passes, putting him over the 100-yard career, or rather 100 career touchdown pass record mark.
That was another example of playing fast, no thinking.
Yeah,
no reading either, but
no, sir.
They're real. You can look them up.
He'll keep the football there. And I heard a groan in the crowd. Why not? He had the shoulder injury against Georgia Tech. And when we talked to Chad Morris and the head coach Dabo Sweeney about the plans for Boyd to run the football, there weren't any.
That's right. We're not doing that. We saw one right there. I would think that he should make his exit pretty soon.
Likely Cole Stout will replace him when that happens. They run the football on 3rd down. The play is stretched out near the sticks.
And on to Roderick McDowell.
Roderick McDowell, who has a touchdown reception in this game, carrying the football. And it is 4th and about a yard. And right now it appears the Tigers are going to go for it. Apparently they feel safe about this 42-0 lead. And McDowell has got the first down to the Citadel 46-yard line. Rod McDowell in the first half rushed for 94 yards, 18 carries. And now he's up to 21 carries, 107. That went out in the flat, incomplete, almost dangerously thrown as a lateral.
Yes, that Jean Pierre, he almost made a big play, could have taken that the other way. You know, I look at these guys running the chains down here. You have to be pretty in good condition to be able to run the chain gang on the sidelines of a Clemson game, because they're going so fast.
Not to mention our officials need to be in good shape as well. Game has changed over the years.
Zach Brooks in the
area,
game.
14 yards for Brooks. He is the sophomore running back out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. And on the play, ball turned over, and Citadel has the first mistake, and Brooks is hurt. Well, his first running opportunity of the game results in a turnover and potential injury. Too bad for Zach Brooks.
Ran the counter with the guard wrapping around the center. Good hole. It's hard to see from that angle when the ball. Here's a better one. We'll see.
Initial stick by Brandon McClatty, the left cornerback.
McClatty's a load now. He's 6'1", 200-pound senior. Played a lot of football for him. So they're going to take a look at it.
Yep. This would be the first turnover committed by the Clemson Tigers this afternoon.
And I believe that's Eckler's first carry of the game.
Well, you know, from that angle, it almost appears as if the knee was down.
It really does appear that way. It's just hard to see when does the ball start to move and, in fact, come out.
There's the knee is down right there, and the ball, from our perspective, has not been loosened up, but he is carrying the left arm. Right now, the more important situation for him is to get some injury relief.
It's indisputable video evidence is what's necessary.
And Dabo Swinney is offering some words of encouragement. .9:47 left in the third quarter as this game has been brought to a halt. Clemson with all 42 of its points scored in the first half. Tigers ranked 7th in the country, trying to maintain or move up in the polls and perhaps the BCS standings as well. So the knee is clearly down there, and where's the ball?
Hard to see the ball from that angle.
Yep.
But thinking about this, Chad Morris must really hate these replays. He wants to go fast.
Oh, sure.
He doesn't like waiting around.
We're in a dead halt right now.
He seemed like a very calm man during that interview. Boy, does his team play fast.
Here's the referee, Tom McCreesh.
After further review, the ruling on the foul stands. It will be first down, Citadel.
So the Bulldogs get the football for the first time off turnover. Each team now with a fumble in the game that's been recovered by the opposition. The Citadel fumble resulted in a 22-yard return by Quadrant Christian for touchdown in the first half. So Brandon McClatty's got something to celebrate. McClatty's an interesting story too. He too is a senior out of Georgia, and McClatty, when asked about his first time on ground at the Institute, he said, I was scared. People were in my face, and the first day I didn't know what to expect. But here he is, about set to graduate and perhaps to go on to military work.
Personal foul. Face mask number 3. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So Vic Beasley has got a chance to play in the NFL if he decides to leave after junior season. Actually, they said at number 3, but that's more on 90. Shaq Lawson, yeah. So Shaq Lawson is the offender here, and the penalty moves the ball up to midfield. On first down, big time carry. Jake Stetson loose inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line, and a pickup at 23.
This is a traditional sweep play that the Clemson defense loses leverage. Everybody has a leverage point from the backside for the cutback on that play, and they lost it.
Rashad Breeland may have saved a touchdown there with a tackle.
Brent Venables probably not very happy with that.
Well, his team trying to pitch a shutout here, but the Citadel's at the 29. And as you start to make some substitutions, it's going to allow the Bulldogs to run the football a little more effectively.
Which is what you need to do. And, of course, as a head coach and maybe a coordinator, you say, are we losing control of this game? Where's our discipline going? Blah, blah, blah. It all happens. Venables, a nice young coach. Pretty intense guy. Graduated from K-State, was an honorable mention linebacker out there. 5 years at K-State as a coach, 13 years at Oklahoma as a defense coordinator, a co-defense coordinator, associate head coach. second year here at Clemson.
His defense trying to defend Ben Dupree, who's been held in check for this game. As we go to now another third down situation for the Citadel.
Much of this offense is involved with some deception, that counter option, trying to get the defense going one way and the quarterback comes back the other. But once again, back on point, the Clemson defense.
We were watching Dupree on film yesterday, and we noticed he's pretty good with that reverse pivot.
Yes, he is. He's a very fine athlete, and he's got great timing with his backs, slot backs and B-back.
Third down. So Robinson. And tackle made by Breland, who stretched out the play defensively quite nicely for Clemson.
This is the counter option with the guard pulling out in front of the quarterback. He gets the cut block on the perimeter, but as he pitches, there is Breland. That is an outstanding play. Tremendously disciplined. Feet in the ground, feet moving. Makes the tackle on the sideline.
Thomas Warren will try to make his longest field goal of the season. This from 42 yards out. And there goes the Clemson shutout. So Thomas Warren converts his 7th field goal in 11 attempts. And the Bulldogs will not go home scoreless. It is 42-3 in favor of the Tigers. Welcome back. 42-3 our score. Kevin Higgins, he's had better days as the head coach of the Citadel, but his team is on the board on a 5-play 41-yard drive that took 2.5 minutes. Thomas Warren with his field goal of 42 yards out. Citadel keeping the ball away from the deep men. So the return up to the 33-yard line is by 81 Stanton Seckinger, who scored the first touchdown of this football game. Next week, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, ESPN2, the Madhouse in South Carolina, Columbia. Clemson and South Carolina, both teams are scoring a lot of points this year. We could see a game that totals a combined 1,000 yards. And look at the sacks for Clemson this season.
It's incredible. Almost double. Bad blood between these programs. Bad blood. Dabo Sweeney's a nice guy now. Steve Spurrier, he's an interesting man.
I'm going to have you do your Steve Spurrier imitation before we.
I'm not sure if I'm ready for that impersonation, but I can do a good one. He can be a little curt. Is that a nice way of saying it?
No, it's spot on, I think. DJ Howard carrying the football as Clemson starts to empty the bench. Tosh Boyd still throwing the football there, and that one is good for a first down to Mr. Hopper. Jermon Hopper, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's the way we started the game with the quick hitch screen into the boundary.
So despite the fumble, Clemson keeps the football almost up to midfield. All right, John, back to Steve Spurrier, the head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks. And with this big game coming up, read this in Spurrier style if you can.
I'm not sure if I can do that, but you can all see. But if those that can't, you know, that is fighting words if I ever saw them. Heavy recruiting battles in the state, out of state. Obviously, Steve Spurrier's had great success at South Carolina, had great success at Florida. And in the last 5 games in this series, looks like, oh, after the play, we'll have to wait till after.
Yeah, well, the pendulum was certainly switched in favor of South Carolina, winning the last 4, even though the series is dominated by Clemson. And we'll get to those numbers in a moment. Right now, it's a 4-receiver set. in the third quarter. The ball at 49 on 39, and Boyd to throw. With man coverage.
You've got to be kidding me.
What a play at the 20-yard line by the freshman Mike Williams.
Great coverage by McClatty. But Williams just goes up and outfights him. That is an incredible athletic play.
He is 19 years of age, by the way. All right, Daniel Rodriguez just got a catch. They're getting close to the end zone, and everybody here is going to have all eyes on number 83 to see if the military man on Military Appreciation Day can get a touchdown. Wounded in battle. Overseas, has come back to play college football. They fake the end around to him, by the way. Now they run to the near side. And what they're hoping today is if Daniel Rodriguez can actually get into the end zone. So we all know it's coming. They're going to try to find him the ball somehow.
Wholesale change on defense by the Citadel. They'd like to get off the field here. 3rd and 10.
Official spot of the ball is the 22-yard line. Taj Boyd, starting quarterback, still in there pitching and running. And Boyd met at the 15-yard line and brought down, and everybody here groaned. A pretty good stick applied by the backup corner, Walker Smith, number 41.
No slide here, Jim. He takes it down and he wants the first down. Instincts take over. I'd love to see him slide, but he does not. He takes a solid hit from 2 defenders.
Sadat Jean-Pierre, number 1, got the initial hit on him. Short of the first down, so Boyd comes out, appears to be healthy. His actual 3rd rush of the game. And again, off that shoulder injury that left him momentarily out of the Georgia Tech game. Everybody here keeps some concern.
I'm just wondering why he's in the game at this point. The kicker, Chandler Catanzaro, and he's got a great season going. He's 11 for 12 going into this kick, 51 long.
And back to the meeting that comes up next week in a game that all eyes in the state of South Carolina will be upon. The last time Clemson won was 31-14 back in 2008. And even though the Tigers have a sizable advantage in the series, right now South Carolina has won the last 4.
And once again, them fighting words. It's going to be a battle. There's no question about it. And the focus of the staff, they'll enjoy this win for about 5 minutes. And then they'll be on to the next game. And I venture that most of the players will be thinking the same. This will be a heck of a week of preparation in both Columbia and here in Clemson. It should be a fine football game. There's been some harsh words, and there's been some bad moments on the field between these 2 teams in the past as well.
Corbin Jenkins to hold, and Chandler Catanzaro to try the field goal attempt, where he is, as Coach mentioned, 11 for 12. It is now Clemson 45 and the Citadel 3. Coming up tonight on ABC, Big 12 title up for grabs. 9-0 Baylor, 9-1 Oklahoma State. Baylor led by quarterback Bryce Petty. And Petty this season's had a remarkable year. 24 touchdown throws, 2,992 yards. Yet the last win for Baylor was back in the 30s in Stillwater. Can the Bears get it done? We'll find out. Brent Musburger, Kirk Herbstreit will be on site for that one. Well, we talked about recruiting wars and advantage right now Clemson over the last several years against South Carolina. Todd McShay, who is no stranger to ESPN, has weighed in on a number of statistics regarding that category and where some of the players from Clemson may be playing in the National Football League in terms of what draft they might experience. And That speculation will continue for Dabo Swinney's team. We know this much, that Sammy Watkins is all but gone, although he hasn't actually committed to leaving after his junior season. Martavis Bryant is a question mark, and so is Vic Beasley from the defensive side of the ball. I don't think anybody here would argue with Watkins leaving after his junior season.
I don't think anyone would, and just to hear Dabo Swinney talk about him in terms of him as a human being and a role model and an example on the practice field and a team player and the improvement in his blocking, he's the real deal. And I think he'll go very high. If not the top pick, he might be the second wide receiver chosen in the draft.
Well, certainly a determining factor is how much better can he get. And in the case of Watkins, Swinney was saying from his office yesterday, I don't think there is much improvement. I mean, he's done it all, got his life together, his act together. It's well thought of by the scouts in the NFL, and therefore, even though, again, we haven't had the official commit, it is likely this will be his final home game here.
Unlike a couple other players that I've mentioned earlier that I think could use another year in the system of football that Dabo Swinney is running this program, and the two coordinators, outstanding fundamental football coaches. You gain an awful lot of knowledge, gain a lot of experience, get stronger in the weight room, get faster out there on the track. I think it's smart for a couple of these guys to forego, stay one more year.
Well, running back C.J. Spiller did that for Clemson and wound up with a solid draft pick. There's a little trickery. How about this? Headed to Dupree, over the shoulder, couldn't make the catch. But Ben Dupree's okay up at the 45-yard line. Well, after a typical triple option attack, a little fun and games.
Little toss, quarterback, throwback. Hard to ever prepare for that one, but Clemson was there. He may have caught it, but he wouldn't gone for a touch. That's a big play. Lots of times when people run the quarterback throwback. Going back to I tried so many times to get them to talk about get ready for South Carolina. They wouldn't do it. The one thing they did say repeatedly was, over the past 3 or 4 days, we have made sure that we have had good versus good. And what that means, instead of being with scout teams all practice long, they had certain periods during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practice where the #1 offense and the #1 defense went against each other. So they got the real fastball look, and they got a lot of different styles of offense and or defense played against one another. So that makes it more, like what they're going to face next week, as opposed to 2 weeks of triple option football.
Man, I would think with all those cut blocks, Clemson's glad to get rid of the triple option.
They'll be glad it's gone.
And it's concerned.
It'll be a memory.
Goins punting for the 6th time in this game. Reception made, 24-yard line. That's where Clemson will set up shop with 1:39 remaining in the third quarter. The top 5 national recruiting classes, not a surprise. Alabama leads the list. Tennessee second. Butch Jones, the head coach there now. Then Miami of Florida, Florida State, and Georgia. Clemson is 13th. South Carolina back at 30th.
Tennessee jumping up the numbers. There's great football played in this state. It's important. It's obvious here today, and it will be obvious in Columbia next week. The stands will be full.
Punching. That's their second timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
And that's it for Taj Boyd. Career.
Oh, that's what I call a big-time completer right there. Big time.
today, 21 for 28, 288 yards, 5 touchdowns. The quarterback is 18, Cole Stout. Stout's a familiar name, National Football League. His dad, Cliff.
Played against his daddy. Wears the same number, 18. Cliff Stout.
Cole Stout had quite a game in relief against South Carolina State this year. 19 for 20, 143 yards, and 3 touchdowns, just 1 incomplete pass.
They say this could become a 3-man battle in the spring. Between Stout and Kelly and another young quarterback.
Finds Matt Porter with his first reception. He's from Charleston, South Carolina, junior. Let's take a look at Stout's eyes right there, focused on the crossing route, and a good catch by Porter.
Fine delivery, quick out of his hand, finds the small window.
We are winding down quarter number 3. Jim Barber, John Bunting, Angela Mallon on the sidelines of our coverage today on ESPN 3 at Clemson and the Citadel. By the way, Clemson is off the Citadel schedule next year. Florida State will be on it. Open receiver to the 8-yard line.
Jordan Leggett.
Well, Leggett dropped one earlier, and he comes back with a little redemption. Good for 41 yards.
Once again, great delivery, on time, down the boundary.
Possibly the final play of this quarter. And when we come back to the other end, we go with the Tigers trying to tack on a 7th touchdown for the game. Taj Boyd has been the big story in our game. And just moments ago, the senior quarterback took the curtain call and delivered a pretty nice bow to go along with it. We'll let you enjoy as we head to commercial break and get set up for the 4th quarter.
Big smile from Taj Boyd right there. You're going to love it.
Welcome back to Death Valley, where the Tigers lead the Citadel 45-3. Earlier in the game, senior linebacker Quandon Christian scored Clemson's defensive touchdown. Now he has ice on his left ankle, and for precautionary reasons, trainers are keeping him out for the South Carolina game. Jim?
All right, Angela, keep your eyes on 83, the wideout Daniel Rodriguez, who served time in Afghanistan with his Army unit, injured back in October of 09, playing football and in motion. Will he get his first score? No, instead they hand off up the middle. And a stop made at about the 2 or 3 yard line. So it'll be 4th down. And what do the Tigers do here? Do they try to find Rodriguez the ball?
I think you stay right here, keep the offense out there, and get the ball in his hands. Wide out.
Rodriguez is 83, the second man on the receiver core to the near side. Stops the quarterback. They put him in motion. They get him the ball.
Very nice. That's pretty impressive. What a throw. Rodriguez.
Military Appreciation Day, a man who has served in the military and been injured Coming back to Clemson to play college football on a 4th down call. Gets the ball and heads to the end zone for his first score.
That's pretty awesome. Out of Stafford, Virginia, right outside of D.C.
He's a recipient of a Purple Heart Medal, Bronze Star Award, Medal of Valor. His Army unit in a world of fire back in October of '09, rescued and returning to the States to play college football. This coach, a big admirer of his energy and enthusiasm and valor in combat. Got a chance with Clemson, and today he got a touchdown. Well, I think for Clemson, this day is complete.
They got 14 minutes to play. That Citadel team, there's no quit in those Bulldogs. I promise you that.
Well, the sun is out here. I forgot what it looked like.
Right after the score.
Yeah, perfect timing. Some of the stadiums start to empty out. It's turned out to be a beautiful fall day. And the Bulldogs able to return the football on the 25-yard line. In the meantime, let's go downstairs to Angelo.
Well, it is all smiles on the Clemson bench, and Daniel Rodriguez grinning from ear to ear. This young man just scored his first touchdown of his career. He promised his squad while in Afghanistan that if he made it out alive, he would try to play college football. And this young man made an excellent workout video. Dabo Swinney got a hold of it, and the rest is history, Jim.
Got a pretty good face for television, too, does he not, Coach?
Say that. Yeah. That's a happy young man, and we're all so proud of him.
Well, the Clemson Tigers, as a university, have done a great job today saluting the military, as a number of men and women who have served their country have been honored today, as well as the families who have lost soldiers in combat over the years.
This timeout is for our senior, Ronnie Christian.
Now the defensive seniors are getting a round of applause. Quandon Christian, number 34, with his final home game. 33, Spencer Shuey out of the game as well. Choose everyone individually. And number 8, Darius Robinson, getting a curtain call.
This is a real tribute to these seniors that they get this opportunity. This doesn't happen every place in this country in college football. They're taking the time to be able to do this, honor these seniors that meant so much to turning this football program totally around, winning on the field, winning off the field.
Well said. And on a purple out day, the purple uniforms, the new unis, donned by the Clemson Tigers. By the way, I love the fatigues by the coaching staff today. It's
pretty snappy.
Nice apparel.
Three coaches on this staff of Dabo Swinney I know very well. Robbie Caldwell, Danny Pearman, both coached for me at North Carolina. Associate head coach Dan Brooks, long time Tennessee coach, down here doing a great job. Also as associate head coach for Dabo Swinney. No quitting that young man.
Dupree with the first down carry up to the 39-yard line. Dabo Swinney took over as interim coach back in 2008. Was named the head coach just a couple of months after donning the interim label. And he has turned Clemson into a mighty power. 11-2 last year, 9-1 this season. Opportunity to get to 11 wins again and possibly a BCS bowl game Maybe the Orange Bowl, who knows?
You don't know at this point. It's very likely they could do that. They went out here.
Sweeney, by the way, a guy of great faith, emphasizes the family relationships between players and coaches. And we take a look at one of the backup linebackers. Pretty big stick there.
Jaron Curse, safety out of Fort Myers, true freshman out there getting some playing time. 3 interceptions on the year for Jaron.
Citadel in the first half held to 42 yards rushing and passing. Darian Robinson, this will be his final game. He's had a terrific career with the Citadel. Been playing with a little bruised leg. And a number of the Citadel players after the game aren't heading on the bus because the Citadel, as a place of schooling, is closed down for a week due to the Thanksgiving break. So these guys brought their clothes for Thanksgiving to get together with the families on board the bus here. And just a handful of guys will actually transport by bus when the game is over. Dupree may be able to shake a couple of defenders. Still roaming with the football. Up close to the first down marker on this third down run. Last game coming up for Mr. Dupree, part of, along with Robinson, the first recruiting class of the head coach Kevin Higgins. So I know this group has been special to him as well. And I imagine that he will take time to bring both of those guys out of the game before we conclude. And I think these fans here, being sophisticated as they are in the game of college football, will recognize both.
Oh, no question. They've been so respectful and involved in this game in every facet of offense, defense, special teams, and halftime. They were on their feet at halftime to honor America and our service people. We're getting back to Dabo Sweeney, too. Just very impressed with where this program has gone. I, as an NFL scout, I used to come down here to scout the Clemson players that may be going to the NFL. I was working with the Chiefs or the Rams or the Saints, and I tell you what, it was miserable to come down here. I didn't know if the players were going to show up or if they'd show up late. Could never book a flight to get out of Greenville because you didn't know if they're going to be on time. So what would be a one-day event would be a 2-day event. It just was a nightmare. Things have changed. It's changed a lot in the time that I left North Carolina in 06 and he took over in 08. And I'm just totally impressed. I know he's trademarked his name. Dabo.
Why not?
If I had one like that, I'd do the same. But the 8 years he spent at Alabama, the 6 years he spent here as an assistant at Clemson, he had a plan. He's executed it.
You know, Sweeney lived in public housing for a time as a youngster. He was the son of an alcoholic father.
Did not know that.
And he has gone to great lengths to help his players who have struggled off the field to try to become men, to try to establish themselves as grown-ups, work through their mistakes, as Sammy Watkins had to do, and as a result, be able to establish themselves, get a degree here at Clemson, perhaps go on to play the National Football League, but at the very least, work their way through business and become successful.
I stepped in that leadership meeting yesterday. There's 25, 30 players in there. It took my breath away. It's something I believe in, always have believed in. And he really believes in it. And another thing I like about it, you read his media guide, the first or second page, it talks about his championship staff. He gives credit. He delegates to the coaching staff to let them do their jobs, but he gives them credit. It's not all about him like sometimes it is other places.
I don't know if you noticed in his office yesterday, he had the big balloons that were probably given from his wife and kids as he celebrated a 44th birthday just 3 days ago.
3 boys, 3 young lads.
I tend to notice things like that when I go to people's offices. Not all the
it was very
football
impressive.
memorabilia, but
the entire football facility is changed since 06 when I was down here last. And it's really carrying throughout the whole campus. They've done a terrific job here at Clemson, and the boosters here, the YIPTE, they how's that go, Jim? I pay 10 a year. I pay 10 a year. YIPTE.
It could be
special, very special.
It could be $10 a month, which I could afford, or maybe $10,000 like you might be able to pitch in. Robinson trying to carry forward, trying to get that surge.
The backup players in the game right now, finishing off, getting ready for what's next. And of course, next is next week. But some of these players on the field right now will comprise the defense that plays out there next year. They'll go into spring practice with a great attitude. They want to finish this out. I know that for certain, between talking with the coordinators and head coach Dabo Swinney.
We saw number 10, Ben Boulware, the freshman, make the stop as we look at a third down run. And Boulware, by the way, had been suspended for targeting in the Georgia Tech game, so he missed the second half, the remainder of the second half, and then the first half of this game. And he's back in and was able to make a stop moments ago.
That targeting rule is one that has drawn a great deal of attention and scrutiny, and I believe it will be altered by the time the football season begins in collegiately next year.
Let me ask, in what way?
I just believe they've got to make it more clear as to what is targeting and what is not. I mean, when you launch, that's certainly targeting. When you hit with your face or your shoulder, below the shoulder pads, it's got to be clear that that is not targeting.
Ben Dupree continues to work hard in his final game as a member of the Citadel. He's not a particularly big guy at 5'9", 185 pounds, but you said it earlier, he's tough. We'll revisit that targeting rule in a moment. We haven't had any such calls today in the game, and as always, replay has to confirm or deny. So replay gets the last official word on a targeting call that's made on the field. Right now, a fresh set of downs. Citadel looking for its first touchdown of the game. Incomplete. Intended for Dalton Trevino.
And make no mistake about it, I am in favor of any way to make this game a little safer.
Me too. Another look at the toss from Dupree to Trevino, who has 2 touchdowns this season. Yeah, even if he had caught it, doubt if he would have had a foot down, but
you've got to, on that type of play, give yourself enough room. Quarterback, receiver, this is where the Citadel does not work as much as a Clemson would on making sure the spacing is right on that type of throw.
And it's Trevino and Jordan that are flanked out to the left. The quarterback Dupree will roll out and cut it back.
You know, last year, Kevin Higgins, once again 9 years as the head coach of the Citadel, had some big wins, beaten App State, Georgia Southern. This year they beat Samford, number 15, a couple weeks ago. They're on a 3-game win streak. They are building this program. They are building it the right way. It's hard. We all know that. But they play in a tough conference, and that conference will realign itself after this season with Georgia Southern going to FBS.
And Dupree now over 1,000 yards rushing for the season, 1,008. 3rd and 2, carries the football. He is close, but perhaps didn't get it. And a team that goes for it on 4th down more than just about anybody in the country will likely to choose here on 4th and 1 to do just that. Well, at 5'8", he's been elusive, but he's been out there on an island sometimes. Needs to pick up about a foot. 4.5 minutes left. To Robinson over the top, and it looks like he got it. First down for the Citadel inside the 15-yard line. And Dupree with the focus. You'd think the game was tied or maybe within a possession of being tied.
Great effort.
Well, Citadel presents a lot more formations than Georgia Tech does, according to the defensive coordinator Brent Venables, but Tigers have done a good job defending it today as Robinson carries the football again. Last game of the season for the Citadel. This is it. They'll conclude at 5-7. No playoffs ahead in the football championship series that you'll see on ESPN3.
Looking forward to that. By the way, Darian Robinson, once again, number 4 in the career all-time rushing. Number 7 is Ben Dupree. Can you tell me who is number 1 in Citadel all-time rushing?
Stump Mitchell.
Stump Mitchell, you got it, Jim. Dadgummit, I thought I had you stumped on that one.
Did a little extra studying tonight, just in case.
A great runner, played for the St. Louis Cardinals, now a coach in the NFL.
So the Citadel will wrap things up in a matter of minutes. Just go back to that 59-58 game that you saw, Coach, back on September 21st. That was a classic, wasn't that?
Oh, boy, 59-58.
And that was in regulation.
That's right. It was not overtime. It was a game in which great runs. We had great throws. We had a blocked punt for a touchdown. We had a punt return for a touchdown. 2 onside kicks.
The two teams combined for 1,105 yards.
It was wild.
And Higgins decided to go for the 2 points to win it. He could have gone for an extra point.
That's correct. Todd went into overtime, but
you'd likely still be playing if he had done that.
I wouldn't have made this game.
Come back to finish up the last 2.5 minutes of this game with Clemson ahead, 52-3. Ball to Clemson 10 for the Citadel, 3rd and 6. Dupree tripped up. Boy, what a jump over the line of scrimmage.
That's watching the ball and getting off on the snap.
Josh Watson, number 91, exploded in the backfield.
In the A gaps, he just fires inside off the center's down block. He is able to make quick contact.
So the Bulldogs will attempt a field goal. Thomas Warren will try to knock down his second from 30 yards away. And it is now 52-6 with 1:54 left. And we'll come back to wrap this one up in a moment. Tiger faithful to the very end, sticking around for this blowout win on senior day. Taj Boyd, who had an impressive first half, got the curtain call early into the second half and retires off this game with 5 touchdown passes. Been part of 51 school records in his years as quarterback for the Clemson Tigers. We got to take a moment to show you graphically the last scoring drive. This is pretty impressive. You need to know how to hold on to the football and drive the length of the field. Give head coach Kevin Higgins a call. You coaches watching today, 21 plays, 63 yards, 12 minutes.
You're going to love it.
Yeah. FaceTime for the kids today as we get set to wrap up our game on ESPN3. Clemson ready to kill off the remaining seconds of this game. Johnny McElveen, now the quarterback for Clemson, the 3rd Tiger that's seen action in this game.
This is the young man that is the grandson of the winningest head coach in South Carolina high school history, Coach McKissick, down in Low Country.
McElveen with his 3rd snap of the game, and it's good for a Clemson first down.
And they say Chad Morris just thinks the world of that young man. And I think he has a coaching future.
J.J. McCall with a carry there for the first down. Big kid, isn't he? Number 89. So the Tigers now turn their attention to the Gamecocks of South Carolina next Saturday night on the road on ESPN2.
JJ is listed as a tight end, but I see him in the pistol as a tailback, don't you?
Yeah, big tailback too. And he carries a few people with him, doesn't he? Seconds to go. Hope you can stick around for our post game as we will be sending it to Angela Mellon with an opportunity perhaps to talk to some of the stars of our game. Sammy Watkins has become the all-time career leader in reception yards. Now we're 3,071. That's it. 52-6, our final score. Cannon goes off, and here come the fans.
Pretty good stuff. Look at that crowd. Senior Day, Military Appreciation Day. Doesn't get much better than this.
Taj Boyd in the middle of all of it.